Hey everyone, it is Dr. Kyle here again at Chiropractic First of Rockford, and I want to share with you or ask you a pretty simple question for our thought of the week this week, and it's, do you know who Dr. Jack Wolfson is? Do you know who Dr. Jack Wolfson is? You may know him. He's actually become a very prominent national speaker on cardiac health, specifically holistic cardiac health. Over the last couple of years with the events of COVID, he became somebody that was brought on to several large news channels and things to speak about the effects that COVID was having on the heart and a way to holistically look at those things. He's a national speaker. He has a large social media presence on several different platforms. The doctors here and staff have had the chance to meet and hear him speak at several conferences and really learn from him. And chances are you've actually heard a lot of his material because we've taken his book, The Paleocardiologist, and some of his other materials and his teachings, and we've rolled that in and made them a primary source of information for master classes and some of the other talks that we've done along the way the last couple of years. In fact, I would reference you back to our master class on cardiac health and the paleocardiologist that we did. Those videos, like all master classes and all videos that we do, are still posted on our social media on both the Chiropractic First of Rockford Facebook page and the Chiropractic First of Rockford YouTube page. You can go back and look at those anytime. But he wrote a book here called The Paleocardiologist. I have a copy of it so you can see with the buffalo on the front. So you may even just recognize his name because if you spend any time here in the office in the therapy areas, over by the over by the vibration platforms and over by the neck traction, we have shelves there with about a half dozen complimentary books for you as a patient. So I want to highlight this one, but we do have several other books there, and they range on everything from vaccine health. We have a Spanish-speaking book that talks about the 5 essentials or just the basics of health as it relates to the 5 essentials. And we have the book that many of you are familiar with, Align Your Health, that goes through the 5 essentials with Max Living. So these are all resources that are available to you as a patient as a complimentary gift to you because we feel the information there is so valuable. We want you to have that information. All we ask is that if you take a book like that, that you make a promise to yourself that you're going to read it, keep an open mind and understand what the researchers are saying and what the authors are saying. And hope it becomes another influential voice in your decisions when you make choices for you and your family's health. So Dr. Jack Wolfson is an incredible resource. He is a traditionally trained medical doctor, actually a DO when it comes to cardiac health. In fact, for a long time, he, and I believe his father was a cardiologist as well. He taught other cardiologists. I mean, this is a guy at the top of his field. And then a couple years ago, his life was changed. His wife, who's a chiropractor, and several other people came into his life and really opened his eyes to the holistic view of how the body can heal, even with something as serious as the heart. And in the U.S., even with everything that's gone over the last couple of years with viruses and other things that are going on in our society, cardiac health is still the number 1 and number 3 killer. It's still heart disease, cancer at the top of that list that's taking the most lives every year. And so he's one of the prominent holistic cardiologists that stands up and says, hey, even with this, the body can heal, and that a lot of the information that you're being told or you're being preached or advertised to is not in line with what current research says. And in fact, there's a lot of research that's being not just silenced, but just kind of looked over by some of the major medical associations when it comes to their recommendations for things like blood pressure and cholesterol, things that are antiquated and thoroughly outproven to be wrong, but are not being implemented into patient recommendations for care. So that's a lot to say about this. The book is completely free to you. Just talk to a staff member if you'd like the chance to read it. It's extremely in-depth and thorough. He does a great job. And he, of course, being intelligent and a medical doctor and in that field, gives a ton of research articles. So all of this is done and backed up by science. So Dr. Jack Wolfson is a name worth remembering, especially if you or someone that you know is dealing with cardiac issues or you're looking for guidance and another approach to that. So Dr. Jack Wolfson, our highlighted author now, and of course, go back, watch the old master classes, watch the old talks, and absorb that material along with the book, and you're going to just have a whole new view on cardiac health and how the body was meant to heal in every square inch and system that we have. Have a great day. I can't wait to see